Hello and welcome back aboard this new moon journey in Aries. Let's go within again and allow this spring lunar cycle energy to come through our bodies and to nourish us and grow us into the next level of our own transformation. This collective new earth plane evolution. How exciting. I ask you, if you did the new moon Pisces work, have you discovered that space inside, that divine flow that transcends your old patterns? I hope so. Fasten your seatbelt, enjoy the ride, I'll see you in there. So, how do we get into this next phase, which is the Aries new moon? So we've looked back over the others, and as you can see, it's like this series of energies that are always, every year, growing us and showing us something deeper within us. They're always trying to enlighten us, to lift off the pressure. So as we learn to fly in these airways, we realize that every single month the energy changes. So Aries then is the truth. So it's like your truth, universal truth, the truth. If everything in the universe could just become unopposed, we would see heaven on earth. And of course, we grow through opposition. Nature grows us through opposition. But what Aries does, it gives us this window of opportunity and time, I guess. It's all about living in guided held time. It gives us this space to say, you know, if you stay opposed this month, I can't grow you. So you have to get out of your own way so that I can grow your truth through you. So like we were doing in Pisces, we were mastering divine flow. And probably what happened during Pisces is that you got this sense of freedom when you do allow flow, when you do allow others to be as they are, when you do allow you to be as you are, you're freed up with a lot of energy, and you potentially had some insights about who you would be if you didn't have these problems or these addictions to dramas or beliefs, old patterns. Pisces is this sort of like dream, if only I could be like this all the time. Well, Aries says, look, that was just training. Now I need you to be in that state. Now I need you to pretend, if you like, that you are unopposed and that you're going to let me, Aries, fire, cook you, if you like. I need your pure ingredients. I need you to be completely whole while Aries comes along and initiates you. Now, if you're trying too hard to change, to create, to work on anything, if you're trying too hard, it means you're opposed to something. It means that you don't believe it's actually natural for it to happen. This is where Aries really becomes really obvious, when you realize you have a nature and you have a blueprint, and the only way for that to ultimately truly come out and for you to enjoy that is to be in unopposed energy. And because we are human, we were brought up in all kinds of conditions and experiences, we've probably had some injuries, some wounds, some traumas. We've had the stuffing knocked out of us in most cases, most sensitives, and you're probably a sensitive if you're watching this. then you don't necessarily believe in your nature. You might believe you've got certain skills and gifts, but you're probably still putting in a bit of, I'll show them, or they won't let me, or why won't it work for me? You're kind of going in these other directions, thinking something's against you. And what we must do this month, if we want Aries to work through us, and this is where we truly, really say there's a higher power that's not just growing tulips, it's growing me, it's growing animals, it's birthing everything. And Aries energy is specifically about activating you. You have to trust and have faith that life knows you, that life is guiding you, and that any action you take in Aries, which is very filled with it, it's an action month, but that any action you take, you're going to ensure that you're being guided, that you're being really clear with yourself that I don't want to mess up in Aries. I want to be following my guidance. I want to be in the divine cooker, the divine conscious cocoon that's holding me. If I'm in my unconscious cocoon, I'm trying to get out. I think there's something wrong. I'm trying to get out. I'm knocking on the door to get out. Whereas actually, everything wants to come into me because I am perfect and I am whole and there's no problem. So when you can come into pure alignment, vibrational alignment with your truth, or flybrational alignment as I call it, when you agree with who you are, when you agree with the projects you want to create, when you agree with the collaborations you have in your heart, when you agree that all your intentions are pure and that you desire that life takes over and supports you, then you enter your conscious cocoon at this time as if you're in a nest and you say, life's going to hatch me. Life is going to hatch me. And it requires a lot of faith. Now, if you know any Aries people, you'll know that they are usually very courageous. They don't have fear. It's the first sign of the zodiac. So in a way, Aries is very buoyant and joyful and youthful. It hasn't had, Aries energy is like, it hasn't had the knocks. It hasn't had, in its pure self, it hasn't had the bad experiences. It hasn't had the stuffing knocked out of it. It's designed to just break through. It's the flowers coming out of the ground. It's the new shoots coming out of the tree trunk. It's new life. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it's the fruit. It's the beautiful soft fruit with more and more seeds inside. This energy is about fruition, or seeds, or your pure potential being supported and helped by the universe. It's so if you're in the northern hemisphere, it's trust in your fruition being grown during this growth cycle going up to June, July, August. If you're in the southern hemisphere, you're already seeing the fruits. So it's about holding really true to the fruit of who you really are, or the butterfly who you really are. Could the caterpillar ever have imagined when it went into this, oh, I'm going to build myself a cocoon and break myself down and live in this dark, dark place? Does this remind you of anyone? Would it have done it if it had known this endurance that it would have to go through? But we are that caterpillar. We did build a dark space above us, and now we're having to break that dark space down to say, life, take over. You be my conscious cocoon. Let me not live in my unconscious cocoon. Let me let you guide me on what action to take. Let me expand my limitations. Let me expand. Let me bark next door. Let me have no fear. Let me be naive. Let me believe that anything is possible. Let me come into vibrational alignment. And then Aries will be that fire that ignites you. And I like to say, when you become the match for your pure truth, Aries will light the match. They will light the match. So think about what Pisces taught you. When you got into the divine flow, things may have really been irritating you during that month. during the previous month. Things were like, whoa, loads of things are coming up. But if you worked on acceptance and you realize these things could be serving me, if you got into divine flow, you found a sort of a way through, you've caught a thermal. What was that thermal? Who was that true you, that pure you, that no problem you that emerged when you let life be as it is? When you make peace with what is, you activate. You are activate. So it's about purifying yourself again on another level, but this time knowing that you're going to be grown. Think of yourself as a natural being in a field or in a nest. You're going to come out of your egg. You're going to come out of your shell over the next 2 to 3 months. Again, I'm talking from the northern hemisphere here in Ibiza. You are a pure seed and you are going to be culminated. You're going to be grown. Now this takes so much faith, and if you're not an Aries, and I'm a Gemini, so definitely not, really think about how brave you've been to get to this point in your life. You have been so brave to put yourself into this thing called human life and willingly say, yes, okay, I'm going to have all these things happen to me. And then in adulthood, I'm going to believe that I can rebirth and that I can bring, you know, maybe you're a mom or a dad, but this is about bringing you. This is about rebirthing you into the world. It's potentially even more frightening than having a baby. It really is about you releasing all of your defense and putting your trust and your faith in the hands of life force and saying, okay, burn me, burn away all that isn't me. So we're going to be using affirmations for sure. All is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this situation, only good will come, and I am safe. Thank you, Louise Hay, for that beauty. My favourite affirmation of all time. You're going to be pretending you're unaware of all opposition. Like, I'm so naive, I'm going to pretend that that isn't triggering me. I'm going to become naive and joyful and childlike, as if I'd never fell over and bruised my knee, that I never got hurt by an ex-lover, that nobody broke my heart. I'm going to pretend that I am joyful. I'm going to let the fire come through me. And see what happens when you do that. See what happens when you allow Aries energy to be this conscious cocoon of time this month around you. What happens when you let life guide you into becoming the next level of who you really are, the next level of truth about who you are. Now, it may be that you've come to this video, maybe you're a patron, maybe you're somebody that's actually trying to create something in the world, or maybe you've come to this video because you like the moon cycle and it makes you feel really comforted. Whatever it is you're bringing to this video, whatever your problem, whatever your project, whatever your idea, whatever the pattern you're trying to shift, hand it over. Hand it over to a higher force and pretend that you believe that it's not really a problem in a higher reality, that in your reality, that still potentially, if you're any kind of normal human, it's a bit of a denser reality. You're still thinking in a linear way. You're still thinking in a X equals Y equals Z. I have to solve this to get there. Hand that over and pretend that you 1000% believe, because you're so naive and Aries and joyful and youthful, that I'm going to pretend that I'm just imagining that I've got this problem. I'm just going to pretend that I'm playing with the problem. It's not real. I may have had it for 50 years, but I'm just going to play with the fact that it doesn't really exist. I mean, in reality, it doesn't. In the true higher vibrational essence of all of life, It is only being held together by your mind, by your beliefs, and by your reaction to it continually happening. And because you haven't made peace with what is, you're recreating ancient patterns. So for this month, be unaware of the opposition. Pretend. Comment. Come back to this video. If you're a patron, then we'll do a live about this. It's like, what is the biggest dilemma that you have in your life? Is it money? Is it relationship? Is it procrastination? Is it fitness? Is it your health? Pretend that this month a massive shift could happen if you just stopped believing that it was a problem. If you just stopped believing that you were the problem. If you just stopped believing that someone else is the problem. If you stop believing that the world climate is the problem. Just pretend. Know that you're safe, that you're being held in this conscious cocoon that is Aries, that is fire, that is burning it all away, and that you're going to keep reflecting with yourself. How is that affecting my reality? Maybe things go much better when I don't oppose myself, but then when they go better, do I then block them again? What is it? Why am I opposing flow when it's for my greater good? Or can I allow the flow to now come through me? I'm not just managing external flow with other people. I'm actually allowing amazing miracles to happen to me in my life this month. I am unaware of opposition. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. You have a divine scaffold around you this month if you can be willing to agree with that and let that happen. Do things that are really naive, that are things that you perhaps did as a child. Now, I used to love sewing. So I have, it's behind those flowers actually, I've got my sewing machine out. Well, that was curious. I apologise if that was a little blip in the film then, because just as I started talking about what's natural to me, what I love, that I was getting the sewing machine out to mend my favourite outfit, my camera stopped because I have a timer on it at 4 o'clock to switch it off so that I have a couple of hours without technology, and that's when it chose to switch off. I hadn't taken into account that it would be 4 o'clock as I was still filming. So anyway, to give you an example of what can come as an opposition, and I thought, oh my gosh, is it all filmed? Did it get it? Yes, it's all there. So no problem. Sometimes we can get something that comes along and tries to stop us, and we're going to pretend that it didn't happen. We're going to be all Aries and joyful and happy, and you're just having these in two little parts. So I've got my sewing machine out, which this is why I can teach all I teach, because I had an awakening in 2005, and I it's a long story, but I saw in me feeling absolutely amazing, my mind started to go into so much opposition that I entered a psychotic state. I started hallucinating. Fortunately, for some reason, and because I'd been doing a lot of spiritual work, self-development work, I was able to witness my mind going crazy. So I didn't actually go crazy, but I was at the same time completely tripping out and hallucinating. And fortunately for me, I was able to stay really oh my God, what's happening to me? But I remained frozen in this state of oh my God, what's this mind? And I haven't been able to let go of that energy since all that time. So it's it'll be 16 years this year. But because I went through that experience, I know that's why I've become a transformational teacher. And if that was meant to be my destiny, that this was always meant to happen, is that now, because it was so scary to be in so much light and so much joy and to witness the universe as it really is, which is just it's angelic, it's divine. In order for me to go back into my nature, back into my joy, back in my bliss, which is what I teach and share, I've also got to let go of this tight, you know, it culminated into nerve pain through my body. It's like this, oh my God, if I go into joy, my mind goes crazy. So, and this is a topic for other videos, but I know that we are scared of our own truth on a deep level. And you may not be as scared as I was, but on some core DNA psychic level, life has happened to us and we have departed from a higher dimension that we were still really in as a baby. Although we were in a physical body, we hadn't learnt language yet, we were still really at one with our environment. And then very quickly things have happened to make you feel like a separate sense of self. In my awakening, I witnessed myself as not separate, a unique essence and feeling, but not separate. It wasn't separate. So as we as a species are learning to merge again into a oneness species, a oneness energy realm, you know, living at one with plants and animals, etc., we have to relinquish our separate sense of self, which is only created by thinking there's a problem in the outside world. And if you took away language and judgment and attachment, you would very quickly experience yourself as a oneness being, as a light being. So this is the deeper teaching, and this is what I'm launching this month of Aries every year, is my light coaching program, and LIGHT. It's living in guided held time. To live in light is to relinquish all opposition, all separation. It's to feel light, it's to be light, it's to read light, it's to understand light. So don't underestimate the fact that you may have very strong desires, but you've also undoubtedly also got an opposing energy. Aries helps you give that opposition to a higher power, give it away, and know that you're being held safe this month so that the fire can come through you, so the pure energy can come through you and burn away your limiting beliefs. We have every year to do a bit more of this, so you can do this anytime. It's not just this month, but this particular month is an extremely powerful, fiery, purifying, new life, you only have to look in nature. We're natural, we're beautiful, we're growing, we're evolving, we're transcending, we're becoming more and more light. If you want to know more about that process, there'll be a link below. And yeah, I wish you a very light journey. Being true to yourself is such a heart-centered work. Nobody at core is stopping you from doing that. It's perception, it's reaction, it's vibration. And believing that and enduring that release is as scary as the caterpillar going through all that it goes through to come out the other side as a butterfly. And as I teach in Butterfly Airways, we go round and round and round the sun, hopefully many times. The moon is going round and round us. It's like a divine conscious clockwork growing us. It is like one giant cooker. And this mind is the only thing that can or can't see that, to be or not to be. So you may well have had the stuffing knocked out of you, but your truth is still there. Your beauty is still there. Your perfection is still there. Your mind has separated you, but you are like a rose, and you can come out and flower, and have the faith to do so during these coming months. I'm here for you. I love you. I understand you. I have faith in you. I have faith in the universe. I honour your journey. I'm blessed to have you on board this earth plane experience with me in this video. If you want to see the previous videos so you can understand the ongoing and unfolding process of the sun, the solar year, and how each lunar cycle works, then subscribe, go to the playlist, and you'll see all the other videos. I think this is our 8th one now. Maybe no, it's more than that. I can't remember. But myself and Gabrielle, who's the creative visual director, we work on one of these every month, and it's transformed us completely by doing this. I've been working with the moon cycle for over 10 years, and I've run online programs for several years. But stepping into my butterfly self over the last 12 months, I'm, just different every month. This is the invitation, is to change now, constantly opening and revealing more of your truth. And the result of that, the gift back, is more and more ease, less effort, more synchronicity, more flow, more joy, more bliss, more excitement. So follow your excitement, fuel your excitement. If you're scared to be excited and follow your bliss, then practice, pretend you're not frightened, pretend you're an Aries and you've got all this courage, and you will learn to fly. I promise you. You're safe, you're held, you're guided. You're a beautiful rose, butterfly, tulip, amazing human being. And enjoy the flowers of Ibiza as I share a little bit of what's growing through this divine red earth on this gorgeous Mediterranean island. And maybe I'll see you here this year for a one-to-one or just a sip of tea. Lots of love, so much love. Enjoy.